Hey viewers, it's the main team. Hi guys. It's the main team here. Welcome back for more Let's Play Civilization 4 with Ragnar. And this is just some more post-commentary leading up through I believe, closer to the end of the BC era. Don't think I make it this video. Well, we'll see. So, yeah, last video I failed the Great Lighthouse. So that's pretty much fail. It sucks, but we're working from there. Dragging some workers. Trying to get a border pop so I can work another 3-food tile with the commerce up there. And also trying to set up my third city. All the while minding declaration chances from Tokugawa to some degree. Hopefully I don't have to deal with it though, because anytime you have to deal with an early war, you certainly can survive, but there's really no way around it. It's going to slow you down at least a little bit, just because you have to build extra units, and you have to pay for those extra units. And neither of those things are particularly ideal. Yeah, and here I was emphasizing that I've now completely stopped barbarians from spawning in the southwest region there. So really now, barbs can only come from the right there, where my warriors are fortified in the forest. So with that being the case, I decided to pull my warrior over, and I have another archer on the way down there, so I'm just going to put it down there. It's more likely to survive that trip, and I can prevent barbs from spawning on the continent at all then, which is nice, because Tokugawa is kind of got the Great Wall, so not that it matters. I mean, there's really no land between us. And he could have barbs on his side of the continent, and they'll just do nothing, because they won't go through him. And, well, now I'm going to be immune too, as soon as I get my archer down there. So, as usual, food first. I guess I'll mention it again. I've mentioned it in previous videos. When you're evaluating early tile yields, for when you're making your initial tile improvements in your starting cities and they're still growing, or really any city that's still growing, you might want to value the different aspects of the output a certain way. For example, food, hammers, and commerce. Where when a city's growing, you almost always value food the most, and then hammers, and then commerce. And there's always debate on the forum over, which are the exact most, how you exactly rank those. Like, is it 10-6-4, like I said in my Let's Play Mao video, or is it something else? Do you value commerce slightly more? Do you value food slightly more while growing? Do you value hammers more? And how does it change over time? And I think mathematically that's going to be dependent on situation. But the 10-6-4 with 10 being food, 6 being hammers, and 4 being commerce, I think is a good rule of thumb to start. It's the rule of thumb that was programmed into the game for the AI to theoretically follow. I find that interesting because the AI rarely actually does follow that. But it's in there, and if the AI did it, it would probably play a little better. Probably the AI's biggest problem with this workers, though, is that it doesn't specialize its cities at all, like in terms of making a plan for a city. Like, I'm going to use this for hammers, or I'm going to use this for research, or I'm going to use this for great people, or whatever. And yeah, I decided not to trade anything with Tokugawa there, because it doesn't have anything useful. I was actually rather surprised at the opening of this game. I know 2 AIs, and they're both just tanking pathetically, which is allowing me to keep up pretty reasonably with them, given their bonuses. I'm not sure if I've done it yet, or if I do it in the near future here, but I actually go into the settings to make sure that I actually picked Immortal for this. And that, viewers, is why I said that Archipelago is a little bit on the easy side. Which, it's a good mix. It's a good change up though, because these maps are a little bit different from your standard Fractal or Continents, or definitely Pangaea, anything like that. You have so much more reliance on either amphibious attack or shuttling troops constantly, and your sources of commerce, or, well, your great person point sources are the same, but your source of commerce is a little bit less on cottages. Just as with hammers, you're not going to have nearly as many mines. So in order to adjust for that, I felt it would be worth showing. Oh yeah, and here I actually started on the pyramids. I checked, I don't quite have stone hooked up yet, but I will soon. Like next turn. Oh no, I got it this turn. There you go. But I didn't realistically expect to finish pyramids because on Immortal, the pyramids can go by 1,000. Well, on Immortal, pyramids can technically go at like 1800 BC, but that doesn't usually happen. Yeah, but if you're not getting them like around or before 1000 BC, you're really not all that safe to get them. But, you know, I felt like, again, similar to the Great Lighthouse, I'm not really losing any land for attempting them. And if I get them, it'll be really nice. And if I don't, oh well, I just get a lot of gold. And unlike the gold for the Great Lighthouse, this gold is has a 100% multiplier on my hammers. In other words, because I have stone, I get bonus hammers on the pyramids, and those are applied to gold when I fail the wonder. So, you know, I was happy to start on them either way, really. And for now, I'll just farm the banana, and once I get calendar, I'll switch it to a plantation, of course, since it's worth an extra food until biology. And then it's tied after that. And it's always worth more health, so there. Unfortunately, none of these cities other than my capital are really good. Well, with the exception of the one I just settled, will be pretty good as a commerce site using the riverside. But the other cities don't have a lot of food. Like the highest food resources I have other than the banana, you know, that's outside of my capital, is 4 food. So that's a little rough. My capital is pretty much the only thing I can use as a great person farm. I do eventually start going that route. But you know, it slows my research down somewhat because I didn't want to use my capital for that right away while I was still expanding my empire and still had a chance to either attempt wonders or what have you. Because it's also easily my best production city. So I had a bit of a conundrum there, if you will. But, you know, it turns out okay. And only because the AIs are also really floundering around. And yeah, pyramids fail. So I also pick up monarchy this turn. Normally you'd trade for it, but with the AIs not even having like really basic things at this point, or by the point I started on monarchy, I realized that I needed it on my own. So yeah, here I switched to emphasize hammers. And yeah, they all, other than like really basic stuff, one of them has math. Like that's just sad. And I'm looking for luxury resource trades, and they're not having that either. Yeah. I've advocated using monarchy before, and it's a good civic, but the returns on cottages are a little slow. If you're constantly using units in every city to grow the cities, so I only want to use monarchy for happiness in select cities that really need the size, that will really benefit a lot from the size. And right now the only 2 places that I can think of that actually meet those qualifications are the banana site and the site, you know, the site with banana, iron, and dye and all that riverside, where I'm going to move my palace actually in my capital, which will benefit from going on to most of its tiles. And it's already a reasonably strong commerce city just from the passive tiles and seafood and whatever. The other cities, using units to allow them to be happy and grow is just, you know, it adds cost and it forces me to use up hammers. And I don't really get a whole lot for going onto those tiles. So I'm a little bit leery about doing that. So I'm looking for luxury resource trades and not seeing a whole lot.
Flocks of thy sheep.
So here I pick Code of Laws. I'm hoping that AIs can trade me mathematics in the near future. And I knew I was going to meet Peter. Well, not Peter, but somebody. Because I still had espionage on both of the AIs. But anyway. Oh, what was my train of thought? Oh yeah, about monarchy and luxury resources. So I'm just having to make do with limited luxuries for now. Probably won't see a lot until at least when the AI gets calendar, which is going a little slowly. But, you know, astronomy at the latest is when you can do the trades. And I'll get into Peter statistics in the next video. So that'll be about it for this episode. I got a couple more cities here, and I'll see you in the next one. Me and team signing off.